Welcome to Fit to Love Conversations, where we explore stories of rising, rebuilding, and stepping into who we are meant to be. I am your host, Nicole Allison, and in each conversation, we connect with women and the voices who support women as they lead, create, and empower the world around them. Hi, I'm Nicole Allison, host of Fit to Love Conversations, and today I have with me Brooke Erickson. Brooke, thank you so much for being here today.
I'm so excited to be here. This is going to be so fun.
I'm so excited too. And Brooke, before we deep dive into how heartbreak affects the body and, all that stuff, I would like the audience to get to know you a little bit. So I wanted to just ask, how long have you been in the Phoenix area? What part of town you live in? And what's one thing that you love to do to just, unplug and decompress?
Yeah, so I've actually only been in the area since last January, just about a year. So I have a little bit of a gypsy soul. So I moved around a little bit. But I love Arizona. I love the weather. So I think my favorite things to do would be anything outside in nature, getting out hiking. I love just being out in the sun. I play sand volleyball.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So things like that, I would say kind of outdoorsy things are what I love to do, going on adventures, traveling. Kind of weekend adventures. Yeah.
I mean, this is the place.
I know.
And 9 months out of the year, we can be outside and be doing just about anything. So I'm with you on that.
Yeah,
and then 3 months out of the year, we're just like, where's the AC?
Well, I grew up in Washington State where it's the opposite. We had horrible weather most of the year and then 3 or 4 months of actual nice weather. So it's a good reverse to be here the other way with sun year round.
Right. So you're just grateful to have more sun than anything.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much for sharing about what you like to do here. So before we dive in, I just want you to go ahead and let everyone know, what is it that you do? Give us a little idea on your background, how you help women in your practice.
Yeah. So I'm a functional holistic nutritionist. I've been practicing for just about 10 years. And how I'm helping people has kind of evolved over those 10 years. Obviously, helping people get to the root cause of different imbalances in the body has been my primary focus. And over the years, what I've seen is that we have to heal not only physically, but, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and through my own kind of personal journey through those things. I would find these clients that were making huge strides in feeling better and improving their gut health or hormones and things like that. But then we would get stuck with some where they're doing all the things. They're doing nutrition well, they're exercising, they're taking all the supplements that I'm recommending or whatever it might be. And they're still stuck. They're still having something. And I really started to understand that there is stuck emotions, stuck trauma. There's emotional aspects or where people are not in alignment with their authentic self. And so I started really bringing that into how I was helping people. And that's kind of been where the direction I'm going now. So it's been really amazing to see the transition that's been happening from that. So
that's awesome. And I like how you say the alignment with your authentic self. It's just right there. You feel that deep dive already occurring. And when I first met you, I heard you speak up at the Women's 360 and you were talking about sleep and about managing stress and anxiety and all those things that really encroach upon our quality of life. And it got me thinking to how much those things are even more disrupted when you're going through a major life change, a divorce, a heartbreak.
Yeah.
And I remember when I was going through my divorce and some of the heart-shattering heartbreaks post-divorce, and just how unbalanced I felt and how hard it was to just find grounding in my life. And so a lot of what I heard you saying, I was like, gosh, I could have really used that. So I just want you to share a little bit about how we're affected by that type of I guess, what would you call it? Grief, loss, stress in the body?
All of the above, right? I think there's a lot of emotions and things going on and depends on each person's circumstance. But, when you're going through a period of stress and just anxiety and depression and those things really coming up through your process, your sleep gets affected, which is depleting your body of minerals. So you have certain nutrients that are needed in order to balance the body, in order to make it be in coherence. And so when you have a lot of stress, you're increasing your cortisol levels. Your sleep is often not the way it's supposed to be, you're not sleeping well, or I know for me, when I went through my divorce, I was really grateful that I had the nutrition and kind of the fitness side pretty dialed in, which really saved me. But what a lot of women are also doing is finding outlets, so they might be going out drinking or staying out really late or not eating or overeating or all these different things that is just a coping mechanism. And all of those things are creating chaos in the body. And that makes it really hard for you to process emotions and really heal and thrive and move through that. So a lot of what I help clients do is create that coherence again. So taking them from chaos to coherence in the body and doing that through circadian rhythm and sleep, which is huge, huge for people. Your circadian rhythm isn't just your ability to sleep. It's also running every single organ in your body. You have a master clock that's tied to that. And so if that's off, I kind of describe it as if you have your master clock is air traffic control, which is in your brain, and all the organs in your body are the airplanes at the airport. So it's like trying to run an airport with no air traffic control. It's chaos.
Right.
So things like circadian rhythm and meal timing and getting that sleep, getting the nourishment, what it's doing is just creating safety in the body. So in a time where you're really going through a feeling of maybe feeling unstable, right? Not safe for a variety of reasons, the best thing you can do for your body is to create that safety in your nervous system, in the rhythm of your body. Your body wants to have predictability and rhythm and know that that's how it knows that it's safe. And so that's essentially what I'm helping people do through several different kind of mechanisms.
Okay. And you mentioned a few times when you were talking about the circadian, is that how you say it? Circadian rhythm. And I watched your video on that you sent me.
Oh, nice.
And that's why this morning I was like, sunlight.
Yeah.
So I think about it now when I wake up in the morning, when I'm going to bed. And so for those that are listening that don't know what that is, maybe some cliff notes on that, kind of further explain that. Why is it so important? Why can it help when we're going through life stresses, the loss, the grief, the anxiety? And of course, it helps just anybody not even going through that stuff, but it
Absolutely.
can really make a substantial difference in someone that is, because like you're saying, there is so much chaos. We are so off balanced.
Yeah, absolutely. So your circadian rhythm is essentially your sleep-wake cycle. So we are always on a 24-hour clock. And the two main hormones that function within the circadian rhythm are cortisol and melatonin.
Okay.
So cortisol is our stress hormone, and melatonin does many things in the body. But one of the things most people know well is sleep, right? So melatonin is what helps us sleep. And so when that's off, when you're not getting the correct amounts of cortisol at the right time and enough melatonin at the right time, it throws everything off. You're not sleeping well. Your body isn't getting the repair and the rejuvenation it needs at night. And cortisol, if you're running at high cortisol, then that can really throw things off, right? That affects your hormones. It affects literally everything in your body. Can be affected, your blood sugar, your metabolism, all these things, right? So when you dial in your circadian rhythm, essentially we're meant to be outside in nature, and our body checks in at certain times during the day to get signals from the sun that tells us information to our mitochondria. Here's the job you need to be doing right now. So for example, going outside and watching the sunrise. Step one, you did that this morning, which was lovely. Did. I saw that.
It felt so good.
Yeah. And that is the most important first step. So getting outside, watching the sunrise, it's tuning in your clock, your master clock with the sun. So the body knows, okay, I know what time it is. It's time to put melatonin away. I need cortisol. Helps you calibrate the right amount of cortisol. So if you're lower in the morning or higher, it kind of helps bring that back into homeostasis, which is just balance.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a good first step. And then there's other points throughout the day that do different things. So like an hour later, there's something called UVA rise, and that window helps with hormone balancing. It helps with your HPA axis. It helps with neurotransmitters. So when we think about mood, like anxiety and depression, it's helping to regulate serotonin and dopamine and those neurotransmitters. So a lot of recalibrating and again, creating safety, creating alignment in the body so that your body knows what to be doing at different times. It runs digestion, it runs hormones, you name it. it's affected by your circadian rhythm.
Okay. And yeah, and creating safety and alignment, that is opposite of chaos.
Yes, it is.
And I will say, me personally, when I was going through my divorce and I was, out there dating and running myself rampant, and like you said, we find vices. Like for me, it was, going out and drinking, thinking I'm having a great time,
Yeah.
and just being super like depressed and like out of sorts the next day, and kind of like feeling like a loser. I mean, that's just the truth of it. And so, like, if someone like me, who I was back then, had come to you during that time, and I said, Brooke, I just can't get my nervous system under control. I don't seem to be able to sit home and sit with myself, and I'm going out and I'm drinking, and I'm just not doing good for myself. But I don't know what to do because I'm in so much pain right now. My heart is so broken, and I am hurting, but I don't know how to regulate. How would you go about beginning to help me or somebody that's in my shoes? Because I'm finding that a lot of women that I'm talking to that are out there in the dating world, post a breakup, post a divorce, they are just in chaos. That is the word. It is chaos, and they cannot get their bodies to come back down.
Yeah. So I kind of have 3 different buckets that I focus on. So the first one would be regulating, right? So we're regulating the nervous system through, this isn't just, I'm not telling you, hey, just go sit and do breath work and that's going to fix everything, right? It's more complicated than that. Of course, that can be helpful. But again, this goes back to circadian alignment. So I would start with that because if you get that rhythm, the other thing is eating. So eating at really consistent meal times. You want to eat a good breakfast with 30 grams of protein within 1 hour of waking up. And that stabilizes your cortisol, it stabilizes your blood sugar, and that's going to help your energy. It's going to help your mood, right? You're not having this anxiety that's going to be accumulating from high spikes of cortisol throughout the day. So again, it's rhythm, it's stability in the body. Safety comes not only from breath work and things like that, but it comes from the reliability that your body is getting the nourishment that it needs at different times during the day. So we would start with those basic things. And then really thinking about, I think there's a really important message here about sitting. I love how you said, I don't want to, I'm having these emotions and I don't want to. And one of the things I've really explored over the last couple of years is how detrimental it is for us when we stuff those emotions down and we don't allow ourselves to sit and feel the feels. So emotions are energy in motion. They are meant to come through, move through us. We're meant to feel them. And if they get stuck in the body, they start to show up as physical symptoms. So anytime you have a physical symptom going on, that's a message from your body. Your body's trying to communicate with you, hey, something is going on. We need to look at this. So starting out, we want to get curious about that. Okay, what am I feeling right now? Really allowing yourself to be sad, be angry, be whatever you need to be, instead of numbing it with alcohol, which I am guilty of myself, right? Through that process. It's really easy to do.
It is, yeah.
So focusing on getting regular sleep, supporting and nourishing your body. When you eat enough protein and you're balancing your blood sugar, that helps balance your mood. And if you don't have enough protein, then you can't make neurotransmitters. You can't make the things you need. So that becomes from a stability and foundation perspective. I don't know. I've seen a lot of women who just don't eat, right? They're just not hungry or they're just not eating enough and their body is in starvation mode. And that feels like stress. And then that can continue to cause anxiety and depression and all these things. So the first step is that. And then it's really nourishing the body, nourishing your cells, great mineral balance. Obviously moving your body and exercise, which I know you come from a fitness background and see the importance in that too. So it's those types of things. And then really, I find getting into alignment, learning about energetic alignment. What is true and correct for me? Where am I people pleasing? Where am I putting everyone else first? Where am I saying yes to things that I really want to say no to? And when you start cleaning up all this conditioning, which is kind of the third thing I help people with, then you become more centered and in alignment. And that cohesiveness, that coherence then helps create safety. It creates balance and structure in the body that then you can thrive, right? You can feel your best again and live your best life.
Yeah. What I really heard in what you just explained, there was a lot of things I heard. And I will say that when I first was going through everything, and I am definitely in a different headspace now than I was then, but when someone would try to tell me what I need to do, it just it felt not only overwhelming, but it felt like I can't possibly get better, and those things are probably not going to work just because I was in that place of like chaos and running and hiding. But when you said, you can wake up and look at the sun, and you can get those 30 grams of protein in your diet within 30 minutes. Like, I'm literally just learning that. You think I know that being in the fitness industry, and I'm definitely guilty of going long amounts of time without eating. I mean, there's some days I will be like, I don't even know if I've eaten yet today. And I know that's so unhealthy, but just that self-awareness to know how big of a difference it makes. But I can see myself back then say, okay, I can do those two things. Now, do you feel like just someone doing those two things and that's all that they change in the beginning, that would create a shift enough to start to go, okay, well, what else?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It does make sense. And what I find is what it does is it confirms that it's helping.
Okay.
Right. So you get up, you start watching the sunrise, and I have clients that sleep through the night for the first time just from getting up and watching the sunrise. Right. So you start to see the impact in a beneficial way, and then that motivates you to want to do more. Right now you feel a little bit better. You're like, wow, that feels really good. I want to keep doing that. Right. When you don't eat breakfast in the morning, your cortisol peaks about 90 minutes in the morning after you wake up in the morning. And so if you don't eat, your body uses and makes more cortisol in order to go break down stored energy. So imagine a morning where you get up, you drink coffee, you don't eat, you go to the gym, you just absolutely flooded your body with cortisol.
Okay.
And that is going to create more stress and anxiety in the body. So by simply making that one shift where you eat this high protein breakfast within an hour, now you destabilize your blood sugar. You're going to feel very differently moving through the day. And so you'll notice you don't get that 3 o'clock crash. You're not relying on caffeine to get you through the day. All those little things become evidence that, I have power in this. I can take my power back. I have the ability to trust my body. And that's a big piece of what I try to teach people is to trust your body, trust your body's ability to take care of you and heal and thrive. We just have to get out of its way. We just have to give it the little things it wants to be happy, and it will take us through that much easier than fighting it.
Yeah, that makes sense. And honestly, I think back about when I was going through the darkest parts of my life, and I didn't go outside a whole lot. I would try, be like, hike, meditation, trying to be in it. But they were just in sporadic moments. And I think back about how long maybe you would just lay in my bed and curled up in a ball and being sad or not wanting to wake up in the morning and even go outside because it felt bad.
Yeah.
And so I love that those little nuggets can help somebody get going. And if someone's listening right now, maybe those are just two things that they can change about their life. And you just are such a powerful resource, Brooke. Really, when I heard you speaking, I was like, now that's sunshine in the room. And we all need that. And when I was going through my time, I just didn't have a lot of sunshine in my life. And I was a magnet for chaos.
Yeah.
And so what would you say to someone listening that maybe has a friend or a family member who's really in need of what you're talking about? Like, how could they kind of like nudge them with it to come and see you? Because I just started listening, watching the sunset. Oh my gosh. The sunrise. Sunset's good too. After I listened to your Zoom, and I feel like it has been making a difference in my life.
Yeah.
So does that question make sense?
It does. I mean, I think if you know someone, first of all, try it for yourself, right? If it's not something you already do, try it for yourself, even if you're not going through a heartbreak right now. And then just give that little nugget to someone you know. Maybe do it together. So I had a client / friend that I worked with. And she was going through a really hard time. She was going through a lot of grief. She had some loss in her life. And I told her she has a beautiful backyard with this amazing view of the sunrise. And I was like, just get up and watch the sunrise. So every morning she would take a picture of the sunrise and she would send it to me. And she just kept doing that. And it was life-changing for her, just that one simple routine that she got in the habit of doing. She still today will randomly send me one when it's like a beautiful sunrise. So just the littlest thing. So tell your friend, hey, let's get up and watch the sunrise together. Let's get up. You take a picture of your sunrise. I'm going to take a picture of mine and we'll send it to each other in the morning. Just something very simple like that. That also just signals, hey, I'm by your side. I'm here for you. I'm supporting you, right? And that little amount of just support can make a big difference too.
It really can. And I can just imagine how that could really help support someone to be like, hey, I'm looking at the sunset too. Are you looking at the sunset? And I think that that's such an important piece of getting better and healing. It is just taking one little step at a time, doing just a little bit better than we did yesterday, just adding a little bit more sunlight, whether it's the actual sunlight into our life. And that's what I love about your practice and what you do, is that you offer so many ways that people can start to improve on themselves, their quality of life, their sleep, which is huge. Like there's most people I know tell me they don't sleep well.
Yeah.
They don't.
Yeah.
And I think that we could probably do a whole entire podcast on the circadian rhythm. And maybe we will come back to that.
Yeah.
And because that seems like it's got a lot of different layers. It offers a lot of different fixes to a lot of the stress and the heartbreak management.
Yes.
So
it's like the foundation of the house. If you don't have your circadian rhythm dialed in, you can eat all the foods and do all these things, but it's like your body, you don't have the blueprints on how to build the house. So if you think of nutrition as the materials to build it, but if you have all the materials, but you don't know how to build it, then you're not going to get very far. So circadian rhythm is a wonderful place to start. It's where I start all of my clients before we do anything else. So I think it can be really, really helpful.
Well, with that said, Brooke, where can people find you, be able to reach out to you and talk to you about learning more about the education of the circadian rhythm and what you offer?
Yeah. So I'm on Instagram. So it's at thrive_with_Brooke.
Okay.
And my website is Nourish Thrive. So you can find me there. It is changing to Thrive with Brooke, but either one will get you there. And I have more information on just what I offer and how you can work with me there.
Okay, perfect. So you can also find more about Brooke in the show notes. The way to contact her will be there. And I just wanted to thank all my listeners who have tuned in today for listening. And please share, subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. And thank you so much. And have a wonderful day, everyone. And Brooke, again, thank you so much for being here. I just want to keep talking to you and digging more, but we'll have to do that next time.
Thank you so much. I loved being here. Appreciate it.
Thank you for listening to Fit to Love Conversations. For coaching resources, visit fit2lovecoaching.com. Until next time, keep rising, keep healing, and keep becoming the woman you're meant to be.